Okay, y'all, guess he's back. Back and feeling good right now. It's just like the Holy Spirit just made me feel all of a sudden good about doing this. Guess what we're reading? Guess what we're doing right now? Yep. Going on this awesome adventure with this guy, Christian. Let me get that in there. Oh, snap. Okay, good. Okay, so I found out where I left off last. It was page 43. I thought it was page 45. I was looking at the page on the what do you call it? On the video, part 1, chapter 3, part 1 of Pilgrims Progress. And, I happen to have found the page number. And I was like, and then I read I had rewound a little bit, and I got to this point where they said they told Christian to mind his own business, and then in the video I was laughing because they're like, mind your own business. They would take care of themselves. So we're going to continue where we left off. I'm in chapter 5, but this is chapter 3, so I'm starting where y'all left off last in the video. I meant to go, you know what, I gotta go write those people. I gotta send a message to those people. I hope to God I don't forget. I'm gonna contact people and see if they want to get something going. Okay, I'm gonna pick up where I last left off. Journey toward the house, beautiful. They said that they were quite sure of having kept the law and ordinances fully as well as he. Therefore, said formality, we see no difference between you and ourselves except the coat on your back, which, no doubt, some neighbor gave you to hide your nakedness. Christian, by laws and ordinances you cannot be saved. And this, for this coat I am wearing, there's a little 3 right there, for Galatians 2:16. Yeah, Galatians 2:16. Oh, there you go. And as for this coat I am wearing, it was given to me by the Lord of the place where I am going. And they were like, which no doubt some neighbor gave you. Yeah, Jesus is my neighbor. He knocked on the door of my heart and said, can I come in? I said, sure. I would have told him that. It was given to me by the Lord of the place where I am going. It was given, as you say, to cover my nakedness. And I wear it as a token of his kindness to me. It kind of reminds me of the verse that says, wear humility like a cloak. Which I'm sure that's probably what that cloak is. And I wear it as a token of his kindness to me, for I had nothing but rags before. Now I feel sure that when I come to the gate of the celestial city, the Lord will know me by this coat he gave me. Oh, snap. Trying to have it to where you guys can read along with it. Now I feel sure that when I come to the gate of the celestial city, the Lord will know me by this coat he gave me, by this mark in my forehead, which perhaps you had not noticed, placed there by one of his faithful servants, and by this book which I hold in my hand. All of these I doubt you have, because you did not come in through the gate. It's like they missed out on getting the goodies through the gate. They gave him no answer, but looked at each other and laughed. Then Christian walked on a little before them, often reading from his book to refresh his spirit and overcome the disappointments of the day. They were now nearing a long, steep hill, called Difficulty, at the foot of which were 2 other roads. One leading to the right, and the other to the left of the straight and narrow way. Beyond these was a cool, refreshing spring where Christian drank before attempting to climb the hill. Formality and hypocrisy also came to the foot of the hill. But when they saw that the hill was steep and difficult, and that there were 2 other ways to go, they did not know that the name of one of the roads was danger and the name of the other destruction. Supposing that the side roads would come again to the straight way on the other side of the hill, they took what seemed the easiest route. Hold on a second, y'all. Actually, you know what? Let's sit you down for a little bit and we'll get some water. This is getting interesting. What's cool about me reading ahead and then reading this over again is I get it more, the story more inside my mind. I like that. Formality took the road. Way on the inside of the hill. They took what seemed the easiest route. Formality took the road. Formality took the road named Danger, which led him into a great forest, where he was devoured by wild beasts. Oh man, that sucks. And hypocrisy went down the road of destruction. Which led into a vast plain where there were many deep pits, into one of which he stumbled and fell and rose no more. Oh man, that sucks. When Christian began to climb the hill, he sang, "I must climb up to the mountain top, never mind if the path is steep. For I know that through strife lies the way of life, and the wayfarer must not weep. So courage, my heart, don't faint, don't fear. Though the rough rock makes the way slow, the easy track only leads me back. Up and on is the way I must go." Soon his progress was slower. Then he went on his hands and knees because the way was very steep. Christian leaves his book at the restful arbor. Now about halfway up the hill was a pleasant arbor, a place for rest for weary travelers, made by the Lord of the hill, where Christian sat down to rest. He began to take pleasure in the good coat that was given him at the cross, and to enjoy reading from his book. So, pleasing himself for a while, he dozed. Okay, I read that wrong. So, pleasing himself for a while, he dozed, and the book dropped from his hand. Soon he fell sound asleep, which detained him until almost night. Then he heard a voice, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise." Startled, he awoke and hastened on his way. At the top of the hill, 2 men came running to meet him. One was timorous, and the other mistrust. Christian called out to them, "Sirs, what is your trouble? You run the wrong way." Timorous answered that they were on their way to the city of Zion. When they came to a most dangerous place, he said, "It seems that the farther we go, the more dangerous it becomes, so we are going back." "Yes," said Mistrust. "We saw just ahead of us a couple of lions. Whether they were asleep or awake, we do not know, but we felt sure that if we got near them, they would tear us to pieces." "You make me afraid, but where shall I go to be safe?" "If I go back to my own country, that is marked for fire and brimstone, I will certainly perish there. If I can get to the celestial city, I know I will be safe there. So I must venture on. To go back is nothing but death. To go forward is fear of death. But life everlasting is beyond that. Therefore I will still go forward." So Mistrust and Timorous ran back down the hill, and Christian went on his way. As he thought of what he had heard, he felt in his bosom for his book, and found that he did not have it. Then he was in great distress. What had become of his priceless gift, a comfort and guide in time of trouble, and his pass for the celestial gate? What had become of his priceless gift, a comfort and guide in time of trouble, and his pass for the celestial gate? Read it the wrong way the first time. How could he go on without it? He knew not what to do. At last he remembered sleeping in the arbor, and he could not recall seeing the book since. Falling on his knees, he asked God to forgive him for his carelessness and his sinful act of sleeping on the way. Excuse me. With a heart full of regret and fear, he went back looking for his book, sighing, weeping, doubting that he would ever find it, and if not, that there was any hope for him. When he came in sight of the arbor built by the good Lord to give lonely, weary, exhausted travelers a little rest, so that they might continue their journey, he cried, "O wretched man that I am, that I should sleep in the daytime, in the midst of difficulty, including the flesh, using for my own selfish ease. That I should sleep in the daytime in the midst of difficulty, indulging the flesh, using for my own selfish ease that which the Lord erected only to relieve the spirits of way-worn pilgrims." How many extra steps have I taken in vain? This is what happened to Israel. For their sins they were sent back again by the way of the Red Sea to wander 40 years in the wilderness. How far I might have been by now, journeying with delight, had it not been for my sinful sleep. And night is coming on and may overtake me on this difficult hill. Oh, that I had not slept. By this time he had come to the arbor, and not seeing his book, he sat down and wept. But at last, as Providence would have it, looking down, he saw there under the seat his lost book. Then his sadness turned to gladness, and he thanked God for leading him back and showing him where he had dropped his valuable book. Now he placed it in his bosom and hurried up the mountain. Oh, we got quite a few pages to go. Okay. I placed it in his bosom and hurried up the mountain. He becomes fearful. Christian becomes fearful. Before he reached the top, the sun went down. Seeing darkness approaching and perceiving the dangers he had brought on himself by his presumptuous sleep, he began to dread the road. Now I must walk in darkness, he said, and hear the noises of the doleful creatures of night because of my careless sleep. Then he remembered that what timorous and mistrust had told him about seeing lions in the way. These beasts, he thought, prowl at night for their prey. And if they should attack me, I have nothing with which to defend myself. How could I ward them off or escape being torn to pieces? While he was deploring his unhappy lot, he saw lights ahead, and a very stately building appeared in the gloom. It was the lodge. the Palace Beautiful, standing a little way back from the road. With the thought that he might find lodging there, he quickened his steps. He entered the narrow trail leading to the house. And saw 2 lions, one on each side of the path. Here were the dangers timorous and mistrust we're talking about, which caused them to turn back and depart from the heavenly way. He stopped to consider what he must do. He wondered if he too should not turn and run as they had done, for he could see nothing but death before him. But the porter of the lodge, whose name was Watchful, saw Christian hesitating as if he would go back, and called out to him, "Is your faith weak? Why be fearful? Don't be afraid of the lions, for they are both chained. They are placed there to try the faith of travelers, and to discover those who have no faith. Keep in the middle of the path, and you will not be hurt." Then Christian ventured down the path between the lions, which roared and surged against their chains, but did him no harm. He praised the Lord of the hill and walked on to the gates where the porter stood. Wow, that's pretty crazy. I'm gonna stop right there, and this is gonna be chapter 3, part 2, and I'm gonna do chapter 3, part 3, right here. Arrives at the House Beautiful in the next video. If you guys like this, like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and God bless you. Jesus loves you, and so do I. Hit the notification bell too if you don't mind. Peace out.